that recognizes the beauty of every spiritual philosophy. It aims at supporting people in their quest for a healthy and prosperous life, a life of significance. Revana Quintana and Oswaldo Mora, leaders of the bilingual ministry Unity Community of Light, are here every Sunday morning to bless you with either an inspiring dialogue and or meditation based on the powerful Unity teachings that we are certain will lead you to a space of deep personal transformation. Please be welcome to Encuentro Espiritual English. We are a gentle voice that expresses itself powerfully through hearts consecrated to God and truth, and that by its commitment to educate spiritually, pray with devotion, and gather in family groups, amplify the powerful light of the Christ presence to the collective, all leading to true abundance. We are Unity Community of Light, a bilingual unity ministry that offers an online programming in addition to workshops, retreats, and services in person internationally. Our commitment to the transformation of the collective consciousness is our priority. We are here by divine appointment to fulfill this sacred mission, one that we know can only be accomplished through our own transformation. Revana Quintana and Oswaldo Mora and other leaders are fully present to offer you the powerful unity teachings that will change your life forever. We welcome you from the bottom of our hearts.
Very, very, very good morning. You see, I said it 3 times just to make sure that we are listening the very good morning that is today, Sunday, July 21st, 2024. Unity Community of Light, Oswaldo Mora here, in another Encuentro Espiritual English with my dear friend, and his name is
Nathan Jorgensen, and I'm happy to be here.
Great. My next question it will be, how are you? But then you say happy to be here. So now I understand that that was an instant answer to my previous question. I I just remember something that happened a long time ago when I was being initiated in those times in 1998, 1999 with this lady, Lily. She had a daughter, and her daughter, her name was or is Lolita, and I think she was 7 years old, something like that, and she was playing with some tarot cards. So she was saying this, she was saying that, and I realized that, oh my God, that girl is so connected to these healing things, tarot, astrology, numerology. I said, holy cow, she's very, very connected. And then she said something that it really, kept my attention. And I've been all this time remember that and using that. She said, this is a tarot card. Let's say something like this. And she said, this is an answer for a question that I don't have it yet. And I said, holy cow, that that's something that I never thought about it. That first comes the answer, and after that comes the question. So, and then I start, connecting things in a different way because it's always connected to the cause effect, question answer, question answer. what if life sends us first the answer and then the question? So we must be smart enough to, wise enough to be the ones who kept the answer until the question comes.
Mm.
It's like, hey, hold the spoon until the soup comes, the bowl of soup comes, something like that. So, and today's theme, I don't know if it's related to the answer to the questions, but at least I understand that today's theme is related to those, let's say, when we need to closure something, when we need to end something, when we don't want open chapters in our lives, when we don't want anything draining our energy without being closure or finished or understood. So today, what is today's thing, my dear friend?
Today we're talking about forgiveness. And I'll just add, I really like the story you shared. And as I've been reading this book, again, it's the quest. It's a journey of rediscovery. And it's interesting for me, having grown up with a lot of teachings that are in this book in the more traditional sense of Christianity. And those are some of the answers. And going through this time of saying, nah, I don't believe this anymore. This doesn't work for me. This isn't right. I'm done with it. And reconnecting with it, now seeing it through new eyes and reading some of these saying, oh, I actually knew this answer. The answer was here. Maybe just in my own life, I never had the right questions. And so the interpretation of some of these things was just very, very different. But now reading it saying, oh, I knew this. I knew this for a long time. I just never saw it in the right perspective. So I think, yeah, I like the story, and I think finding this book really does show me, oh, I did have these answers, just didn't see the right questions.
You see, it's over here in the book says, if your life is not all that you want, all that you want it to be, you may be that. If your life is not all that you want it to be, it may be that you have some forgiving to do. So yesterday I was talking with a friend about this theme, forgiveness, and my friend was telling me that she doesn't believe in forgiveness because forgiveness, in some terms, is related to power.
Mm.
So I'm gonna forgive you.
Mm.
I will forgive, but I won't forget. You owe me one.
Mm.
All of
Yeah.
those things that is like, that's not how I intended to do things in my life. So I think we really deserve. It's not that we need. It's something that we deserve to understand how is it that forgiveness works. Because if in the book says that my life is not where I expect it to be, if it's not what I want it to be, it may be because there is some forgiving that I've been missing to do.
Mm.
What do you think?
I think I really like what you shared again, that your friend said. And there have been times in my life when I felt similar to what your friend says, where I'm thinking about something, getting, having a problem with somebody in my life, and then really seeing things that went on and realizing, who am I to say I forgive you, because of that power dynamic, right? Like I'm I'm flawless here. I didn't do anything wrong, but I'm going to grant you the peace of forgiveness. And at times I've seen that very clearly and thought, I'm not even going to say like I forgive you, because it just doesn't feel right. And I've truly felt that there's nothing to forgive. right? And I'm in no position to do it. And yet there are also times in my life when I think, no, I am the right one here, you know? So sometimes it's just so clear. And other times, yeah, maybe I just don't see it like you're saying. If things aren't going the way that I want, if there's this something in the way, I'm not getting what I expected, maybe there's something in the way that I'm blocking within my own mind and my own heart.
You know, I I'm bringing that to when I was child. I grew up with most of the time with my grandmother, and of course, when I messed up, when I didn't do anything, when I didn't do something that she expected, and I did quoted something wrong, let's say, she used to get mad at me. And of course, the moment that I was realizing that she is mad at me, I start wondering, what can I do in order to gain her forgiveness? You know, and it's like a blackmailing myself with my in my energy, in my mind. I have to do something, otherwise she won't be at peace with me. And and then she used to works like words like you know, bringing God to this to these things, bringing God to this communication. And there is when I said, okay, what God has to do with all of this? Because you are not an obedient boy. God will punish you, and you have to ask for His forgiveness. And you know, it's like a too much weight to put over the shoulder or any human being. Yeah, and I remember that I was 10 years old when I was experiencing this forgiveness thing, and I think you know, finding this information, it's gonna I think a meditation, it will be great. An exercise of releasing, an exercise of forgiving, it will be great. Let's see if we can find 5 minutes at the end of this conversation to do that release, because we deserve to do something like that, my friend.
Yeah, I can relate to you with that sense of God being over us, and He's upset, and the little things we do either make Him happy or make Him upset, and we need to make those things right. And that pressure is just, it's immense. And it's now, as a parent and as an adult, looking at the way I see the world, the way I see my children, and the way I see other people, the whole idea just seems so silly to me of, you know, I don't have ultimate power and authority over my kids, but even if I did, I can't imagine being so caught up on little itty bitty things and things that are just natural, like thoughts people have, little things they do, and understanding that life is a journey and that we're all learning, and that as we learn, as we interact with each other, that's where we hurt people inevitably, whether it's purposeful. Most of it is not purposeful. It just happens. And as I've thought about the symbolism of you know, God the Father and the Son Jesus, and I think, you know, God is sort of this sense of justice, especially when you read like the Old Testament. A lot of people talk about Old Testament God being very vengeful and um, quite violent. It's justice, you know, this is what's right, and I'm going to take it. And then Jesus, the Son, is much more peace and forgiveness and mercy. And I see that as, you know, God is our inner self. We are the ones who come up with our own sense of justice, whether we're good with it or not. But Jesus taught us how to interact with each other. That's how we interact with each other. And what we need in order to interact with each other is forgiveness. Because no matter what, we're going to hurt people, and people are going to hurt us, just as a part of life. And that's where forgiveness allows us to connect and form connections with other people.
And now that I'm hearing your words, it's like I'm connecting with these facts that whether I want it or not, I will hurt someone during my path of life. That's part of what it is. But I'm bringing images to my mind, and I think that if I start a list of the things, of the people, or events that I have to forgive, it will take me, I don't know, maybe a couple of days to finish that list. But how is it that I can? Where is it, that place that I can achieve in order to be forgiven? Let me tell you something. This is a story about Hawaiian shamanism. When I was in being initiated in Hawaii, the shaman that he was the director of this process, he told us a story about his experience in previous lives. So he said, and then we were in a park in Kona, the big island. We were in a park. I don't remember the name, my friend. I'm not very good at names of places, but what I remember is what I'm going to tell you. This place, it was like a sanctuary. So he said that in previous times, when the tribal times and before any other stuff over there, just natural Polynesian people over there, in those ancient times, there was this place that if you committed a crime, wherever, and you get to that place, if they didn't capture you during this journey, if you get there, you will be forgiven for whatever you did. Doesn't matter, whatever you did, you will be forgiven, and nobody in the community is allowed to do anything against you because you get to that place. So here comes the tricky part, and he said that he had a vision of himself being part of that community, and then he committed a crime. He killed someone, and then he get to that place. He was forgiven by the community, and supposedly everything was fine, but he couldn't deal with his own guilt. So he ended up killing himself in that vision. You see? So here comes the combination of two things. One is the laws outside that I'm out of the law, so I need to be in the law. But also, what about myself? What about that situation that I don't forgive myself? And I am the one who takes care of reminding myself all the things that I have been doing wrong. So how is it that I'm gonna heal that? Because that's a healing process. It's not something that I can do it just like this. Oh yeah, I just forgive myself right now. I'm done. No, it doesn't happen like that. This is a process of constant realizations that we are worthy, that we are a divine creation, and whatever mistake has been forgiven already, for that power in me. You see? So the thing is, our guilt is in our head. It's not in our hearts. So when I bring anything to my heart is in charge of create the process of transmutation to transformation, any situation into wisdom. But if I don't process that information, if I don't process that energy, I will be full of stuff. I will be heavyweight with all my aspects. If I don't do the process of transformation or transmutation, that will be a heavy weight to lift. You see, I'm talking too much, my friend.
Not at all. Speak wisdom.
So that, I think this theme is so extensive that we can go further and further. But the thing is, we all know what are those aspects that it's been burning us in our consciousness and burning us is there and one again and one again. And at least when when in a couple, for example, I've been consoling couples that, yes, because I remember. Do you remember that? Yeah, but you said this, but you said that. They have a list,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, okay, I will forgive, but I won't forget. It's like that's not something that you can use as a shield because I know you.
Right.
And I don't think that that is something that it will help our process because we are carrying that, and we are supposed to fly free of any weight that is in preventing us to fly. So, what do you think, my friend?
Yeah, I think. Well, one side thought is whenever I'm thinking about forgiveness, I think it's a very personal journey for me, and it's very difficult, even to the point that I can't tell. Like if I'm hearing somebody's really really terrible experience, um, not just little fights and interpersonal disputes, but like for really really major things, it's really hard to be like, oh, yeah, you need to forgive, right? Because again, who am I to say that? I've never been through this experience, and yet it still stands true. So it's a personal journey, and it may take time. And I'll share an experience I had a couple of years ago, and it relates to self-forgiveness as well. And I was thinking about my own life and where I was at, and thinking, judging myself of why did I believe certain things? Why did I do some of these things? Why did I say some of these things that have impacted my life to today? And for me, something that triggers memory, there's two things. One is a sense of smell. When I smell familiar things, sometimes I'm just like taken back into a memory, and it's very sensitive. And the other is music. And so I was feeling very heavy with this weight, and I was watching a TV show, actually, something I had watched when I was a kid, and I heard this music, and I instantly just had like all the sensations and very clear visualization of like certain experiences as a kid. And I remember feeling angry and just, why did I have to go through some of these things? Why did I have to see this? Why did I have to hear this? And seeing myself as a kid, realizing I was just a confused kid. I didn't know what was going on. Like, that's not fair for me that I had to go through that. And seeing it logically, seeing myself as just this confused kid trying to make sense of the world and these experiences, I thought, oh, it all makes perfect sense. I understand why I did this and this and this and this, why this and this and this happened, because it was me responding to difficult things that I didn't understand. And so that was like this sense of release of myself. And then I thought, well, what about like the generation before me? They were also confused kids in many ways, experiencing things in the world events, home events, things in their city, whatever it was. Just they were also confused children, just responding and trying their best. And then they raised me. And then going back a generation, it was the same thing. And so it was almost like logically, it wiped all this sense of what is there to forgive? It wiped it all away. And I thought, then why am I still so angry? And I thought, I'm just angry at God, but I don't even believe in that same God anymore, because I don't think he's up there like I used to think. So what am I angry at? The universe? Like, right? Who did this? Who did this to me? Like, I wanted that. And just for some reason in that moment, all of these memories washed over. And then me just recognizing I am angry at something I can't even define for having to go through some hard things. And just seeing that was like, oh, okay, I guess I just have to accept that life includes this, right? This is a part of life, and this is a part of growth. And it was almost like this instant release of that weight.
The thing is, Nathan, that when you were born, when I was born, nobody around us was completely clear about what God is.
Mm.
So all these years that I've been working on it, since the very beginning of my life, I was always connecting with something strange. I was a really special boy. I wasn't part of any group. I I was completely different. Why? Because somehow I knew that all of that wasn't like that, but I didn't have the other option. Okay,
Mm,
it's not like they say, but how is it?
mm,
And of course, we need to discover that truth that set us free, you know? And nobody around is knowing about that or trusting that. And of course, experiencing God from fear is fearing God. That's as simple as that. So, what is it that you are afraid of? Is anything, because God is everything. So if we are living our life let's say in complete ignorance, not knowing what is true, of course, whatever we receive as kids is dark, because that's not true. So here we are figuring out, reading about, releasing all the information that has not a space in our consciousness anymore, and creating the new one in order to share with our loved ones. You see, I know that right now I am creating a new truth for myself in terms of God, that I gonna go and share with my previous generations, with my mother, with my grandmother, and all of those that they were telling me how is God in the wrong way. You see, I know that I need to renew their concepts about God, as I need to share with my new generations what is it that God is in new terms. You see,
mm,
it's like we have a double job, a double whopper over here. You need to take care of the old generations,
mhm.
because they don't trust the new versions of God.
Right.
No, that cannot be right.
Mm,
No. And the new generation of God doesn't care about God. It's as simple as that.
yeah.
So we need to be wise enough in order to create the balance with it.
Yeah.
You
And
see?
I think a huge part of at least sharing that with others, at least for me, and what I've found is it's just the way that I behave with them, the way that I interact with them. It's hard to say, oh, well, I'm going to teach you this and I'm going to tell you what I believe or whatever, because then they'll resist that, especially particularly the older generation. But at times I feel just like I'm a better person around them. Like I'm kinder, I'm more open, I have better conversations, better times. And then if they were ever to say, huh, like you seem happier or seem clearer, I'd be like, yeah, it's because I have a better view. And so I, maybe it's not sharing exactly what I think or what I believe, but it's just sharing myself and who I've become with this new view and vision of who God is.
And I think that's what counts at the end of the day, because we are creating something different in our own side, in our own center. And actually, that's where I'm gonna, I would like to share these last 3 minutes to to just have a very small journey where we can touch the heart and experience what is forgiveness thing. So after this, I will just finish the transmission, and I will thank you very much, my friend, for being with me once again. And of course, we will be here next week with the next theme. So thank you, Nathan.
Thank you.
So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. Take a deep, deep breath. Sustain a little bit and then let go. I recognize that my heart has the capacity of transforming any painful situation into love. I breathe, and I bring to my heart all those painful situations. Yes, bring to your heart. Don't protect your heart, because your heart is your protection. Open your heart, because the only job that your heart has is to transform ugly things into beautiful stuff. Breathe and feel your presence in your heart, transmuting, transforming, bringing light to those dark spaces. Bring light to those dark spaces by breathing. You are the temple, you are the beginning, and you are the ending of all the things in your life. Always recognizing divine presence in you as is in me. From that in our hearts, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Blessings, family.
Unity COML, Unity Comunidad de Luz, Community of Light. It's a ministry of love, big commitment to help everyone who's ready explore principles of truth that can really bring healing, prosperity, and all the good that God always has in store for each one of us. If you feel truly in your heart that we are serving you, and that you feel that you are expanding in every way and would love to give back and make sure that others are benefited just as well, we highly encourage you to donate. Do a love offering based on the love, appreciation, gratitude, and joy that you are receiving from the source to transform your life. Visit us at unitycoml.org and do what is yours to do from that place that knows that there's abundance for all.
As always say, asking is giving, and that's how we support our ministry. You need our help, and everything goes together.
Divine love, through you, through us, blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. And so it is.
So it is.
Amen.